What is really limited when it comes to internet is the attention. And you have maybe 3 hours of attention per person on average that they will look at screens and browse through the internet. Can you own more of that? That is the way you have to approach content creation.
So me building my own audience, or any personal brand building your own audience.
Yes.
And how can I do that?
You have to start with giving something of value to your audience, because you are asking people to pay attention and you are asking people to pay you with their contact details, because they are giving away their privacy. So even before people pay you for a course or a training program or a software, you need to get them to pay attention, right? So you collect their contact details by giving away something for free. I started my journey by giving away a free digital marketing course and got people to sign up on my email list. I sent the free course via the email list, and since it was valuable content, people paid attention. And because I have their attention, I could sell something of like a premium product, like a course or something. And we take that revenue and put it back into ads, not to advertise the product, but to advertise the content itself.
Okay.
Because we first need the attention of people.
But what if, let's say, like tomorrow, as of today, I don't want to sell anything. I don't want to sell my audience like a premium product. I don't have any. Maybe tomorrow I will, but today I don't. But just to reach that point, I need to nurture and keep sending them content again and again, again. Why?
So the way online attention works is that if somebody sees an ad, maybe they remember it for like a second. If somebody visits your website, they probably remember it for like a minute. If somebody opts in into your email list and then starts receiving content from you, they might remember you for a few days. So within those few days, you need to engage them on a deeper level. For example, like a live webinar. And if they have attended your live webinar, they will probably remember you for the next 30 days.
Yeah.
And within the 30 days, if you do not get them onto a higher engagement, they will friend zone you.
So how do we make sure?
Yes. How do you monetize the attention, right? If you can't monetize the attention, then you can't grow your reach.
Yeah. So let's say today we have attention, but because of Instagram or because of YouTube or because of Twitter, how do we monetize this attention now? First is to build the email list. That is the first step.
So I am particularly not a social media guy, because what I feel is that people are bored and they just have a mobile phone in their reach, and they make sure that they are not bored. So they are scrolling through things. And it is said that the doom of mankind will be scrolling, right? There is no limit to it. And there is this experiment where researchers came together. They took like a bunch of lab rats and they put some electrodes on their brain in such a way that it will release dopamine if they click a switch.
Yeah.
And then they observed that these rats will keep clicking the switch until they got exhausted and like they passed out, right? So our brain always wants dopamine. And whatever we do, it's for dopamine, whether we do socializing or, partying or like browsing through social media and everything. It gives that kick, right? So that is what Instagram and Facebook and all the social media channels are capitalizing on. But as people's attention spans go lower and lower, advertising on these platforms is also very difficult, right? They don't pay attention to the ads either.
In fact, now people have filtered. The moment we see ads,
there is automatic
scroll faster.
Yes, there is automatic ad blindness. So people just don't pay attention to it. So my goal is that how do you give people something to consume, which is something like a 1 hour, 2 hour piece of content. And okay, people watching this podcast may have that kind of attention span, but not everybody is like that.
Yeah.
And how do you make everyone pay that kind of attention? You have to pull them in with what they want and give them what they need. It's like if you have to become fit, you have to eat healthy foods. But even if you give healthy foods for free, it's not like everybody is going to eat it. People still need your junk foods, Lays, pizzas and everything, because it gives you an instant dopamine hit. So LearnToday's goal at least is to structure people's day in such a way that they spend less time on social media and more time going through courses, training programs, and something that is in depth, something that has an activity around it, so that they learn in a deeper way, not just glaze over motivational content all the time.
Okay, so now what do you mean by I want to stop there.
Yeah.
It's like why do you say so that they need to engage on a deeper level? Okay, probably because when they engage better, they learn better, right?
Yes.
That's there, and they'll understand it in a much better way. But how can you make sure with content you're giving them something to engage as well?
Definitely the end purpose of what they are learning needs to be made very clear. Like if I have a course, I need to convince people to buy my course, right? And I have to tell them what is the outcome of it. But if I have to get people to watch a 1 hour video, I need to sell the fact that they need to pay attention for 1 hour. So sales does not end with just selling the product. You are continuously selling.
Yeah,
Like
for that 1 hour,
yes,
continuous
yes.
1 hour.
The goal of copywriting, they say, is that the headline should make them read the first sentence. The first sentence should make them read the second sentence, and so on. If you break that flow at any point in time, you have lost them. So that is an art, to engage people for a long enough time to get them to pay attention and get them to think, like mainly, right? That's what you are doing with long form content. You are getting them to think. And that is not something that we can do by just giving them spoon fed content.
Yeah.
Right? Like 6 tips to this, 7 tips to that.
Dude, I feel like this podcast
like
becomes like Attack Raj 101. It's like, oh, people just don't need to listen motivational content. People don't need to listen 6 steps to this. Like, don't attack.
Yeah, I'm not attacking, but that's what I decided not to do, to be very honest.
Okay.
And you can get people's attention to start there, but at the same time, you need to bring them down your funnel, right? If somebody is subscribed to an Instagram feed and every day they are getting, like, what next? Like, it's like you are getting the phone number, but then you have to get to the date, no?
Yeah.
You can't keep talking on the phone forever.
Okay, so how do we get on date? Like, this is now becoming my personal masterclass.
Okay.
It's like now that people are engaging with me on my Instagram, how can they, what should be my next step? If you were at my place, what would you do?
So what I would do is that I would do a mix of promotional and valuable content. So valuable content is something that you give away for free. It could be 80% of it.
Okay.
But 20% should be something to engage them on a deeper level. So let's say you have written a book on public speaking. So you talk a lot about public speaking, but you have written a book on public speaking and you want people to read that.
Yeah.
So 1 out of 5 posts can be about getting them to download the book and getting them to read that book, because that's where the sophisticated audience is there.
Okay.
Like obviously podcast listeners are sophisticated and they go down the funnel, they buy the premium products, they create a high quality community. So you need to filter out the audience from social media. And let's say once they download an ebook, then maybe they go ahead and get a course. And once they get a course, then maybe they attend an online live workshop. Once they do an online live workshop, maybe they come to an event, offline event, and they meet in person. They become part of a premium community, like a membership. And then eventually they become part of your inner circle mastermind. And then you do like a 3-day retreat, closed behind the doors, in-depth workshop. So my goal is to engage people deeper and deeper that way. And not everybody is going to be at that level of engagement, right? So I have 10,000 students in my training program, but I have just 30 people as part of a very premium exclusive mastermind.
Okay.
The kind of challenges and the problems that we discuss about in that mastermind is on a whole different level, which is probably not for everyone.
Yeah.
Right. So we need to build that funnel, and also by building this funnel, you end up making a lot of revenue. And I basically want to take that revenue and put it back into ads to get people down the funnel. And that way, when you have figured out how to make the maximum ROI out of the attention that people are paying to your content, you can only do it if you have a funnel.
Yeah.
Right. And if you know how to generate profits from it, and then you reinvest that profits into Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, wherever, then basically the whole world is your content marketing team. You are interrupting them while they are creating content. So I don't want to scale content creation. I want to scale the depth of the content that they go through. Yeah. The depth of influence I have.
Dude, that's sick. But I've never thought of having a funnel. My maximum funnel is, what I do is I ask people on Instagram, okay, first do a 30-second thing. Whoever likes it goes to my YouTube. On YouTube, I make three different kind of videos. So people who are coming on my YouTube, they're either coming to know me in a better way, or they're coming to get the same kind of thing in a much longer version, right?
Yes.
So I make vlogs so that whoever's just for entertainment, watch that vlog and walk away. But whoever's there for a deeper value, I make 5 things to do this, 7 things to do this, 10 things to do this. That's like a front of the funnel.
Yes.
And
That's
when
actually a
people
great
do
front
the
of the
7
funnel.
things,
Yes.
7 things, 5 things, they watch that. Then I want those people and I suggest them to watch my podcast. Because I know that somebody who has come from like 30 seconds to 10 minutes, now from 10 minutes, they'll go to 30 minutes.
But I want them to usually engage in a much, much deeper way, because I believe that as a content creator, I'm not just in the business of disseminating information or delivering content, because what is the purpose of the content? The purpose of the content is to bring a behavior change or a transformation in the audience.
Okay.
Right? So if you can make sure that people transform with your content, then that's how far you push the content to.
Yeah.
Because the content is to get attention, and if they engage on a deeper content, so let's say you give 6 tips for productivity, people need to learn that and people need to actually implement it.
Yep.
But right now we are just praying that okay, some people will implement it, some won't. But can you figure out a system to actually get people to implement it? That happens with deeper and deeper engagement, and to some extent it happens only if people pay. Like for example, if I give you a free gym membership, you might not go to the gym. But if you have paid for the gym, then you will go every day because you have paid for it. And the value you extract out of it will be more because you paid for it.
Yeah.
So imagine the exact same content. Like let's say people had to pay $100 to listen to this conversation. They will automatically feel that this is of more value. And this has been done in experiments where the same wine was delivered in crystal glasses and rich glasses, and people thought that this wine actually tastes better.
Yeah.
So you need to get people to pay for content is what I believe, to really get them to pay attention.
No, it makes sense, but there are two contradicting points. One is on the attention point of view, and I'll come that to later. But I feel this really makes sense, because the amount of attention you're gonna get from someone directly depends on how much is he earning and how much is he paying out of the money which he's earning.
Yes.
So
yes.
from the gym membership, someone who's like really, really rich wouldn't even go after paying a gym membership, would go if he pays for a personal trainer every day.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Or somebody, like in the same way, or somebody would pay, this is how somebody would go to gym when they buy like the new iWatch. So the amount they've paid, if it's directly affecting their regular income,
Yes.
then they actually pay attention and actually get to do things which for free they wouldn't, and they should have.
That's true, but at the same time, people who actually pay for a gym and don't show up at the gym, they subsidize the cost for the people who show up regularly, right? So when you get people to pay for content, it pays for your time, your team's time and everything, and they also end up subsidizing the free content that you create for the wider audience.
But how do you filter out? Okay, but first I want to there's a two conversations simultaneously going on, but I'll ask you this, like, how do you filter out what to give for free and what not to give for free? Because I am this person, I've learned this from my mom from the beginning, like give so much, like
Yes.
just keep giving it. And I've built my own theory in life that if you keep giving so much, other person's guilty to give you back.
Yes.
So I keep giving for
Reciprocation,
free,
yes.
right? Like people are
Yes.
guilty. Like if I
Yes.
give you 100%, people will be guilty to give you back.
Yes.
So I
yes.
keep giving.
Yes.
So I don't have a borderline. I don't know where to draw this line where you get to know about what to give for free, what to give for paid, like what to do and when to do.
So the basic formula for that is that you teach them the what for free and you charge for the how.
Okay.
So if it is digital marketing, so I teach people for free in my free webinars that, hey, you can do freelancing, you can do affiliate marketing, look at these case studies. These people are making money with affiliate marketing. So I get them excited. So they need to know what they don't know first. So that can be given away for free. And that should also be designed in such a way that it creates an itch for them to learn the how. The how is a more comprehensive part, And even if you give the how away for free, nobody is going to pay attention to it.
Yeah, nobody.
Yeah, because it's just going to be procedures.
We see that, no? We
and
see that
everything.
on YouTube only. Like, you show people a millionaire driving a Lamborghini, it'll have like 5-10 million views.
Yes.
But you show a millionaire telling you how to make
Make a
money
million.
to buy this Lamborghini, nobody's
Yes,
gonna watch it.
yes,
People
yes.
are not watching it, right?
Yes.
So even if you give it for free, people are not gonna watch it.
Yes. Yes.
So that's usually
Yeah,
the case.
yeah.
But if I charge you, I mean, hundreds of people are already doing it. That if they put a paywall and tell people that this is how you make enough money to buy your first Lamborghini, thousands of people are gonna pay thousands of dollars.
Yes. Yes.
And they're not gonna watch it for free.
Yes.
Like,
yes.
it just works differently.
Yes. Exactly. So people value what they pay for. But if you have figured out the funnel properly, then you don't need to do organic content at all. You need to do content, but the purpose of the content is not to attract people, but the purpose of the content is to convert them from a cold audience to a warm audience. So if you purely look at it from a marketing perspective, then that's how the funnel should be structured.
But here's a contradicting part which I was saying, right? I don't feel that attention span, you were talking about attention span is getting lower and lower. I don't feel that attention span is going down. I feel attention span is there only. It's just the ability to judge the content is getting quicker. Because there's so much content available that people don't want to waste their time even for 10 seconds to watch a bad content. So they have the attention. Like, people can watch 8 hours straight Netflix series. They will binge watch it. If they have the attention deficiency, they wouldn't be able to watch it. Right? The point is, they don't want to waste their time on bad content. So I think the attention span is not going. It's just the ability to judge content is getting like quicker.
Yes, but even if you have very good content, but if that content is more like, let's say, there is a 2-hour video on how to change your thought process, or let's say how to do scientific thinking and what is a scientific thinking method. There doesn't seem to be any very quick takeaway from it, right? So if Netflix is different because it's entertainment.
Yeah.
People get hooked onto it, and then you have cliffhangers and you have like multiple episodes. It's like a soap opera and everything. But if it is like learning stuff, like learning something new, it has become more like infotainment because people get the satisfaction of having grown on some way, like with respect to their professional skills, but it's not like they have actually put it into practice, because certain long form content asks you to take action on it, like Netflix doesn't. So that attention span is something that you have to hack into. You have to convince people to spend 2 hours with you. Like for example, if there is a course on how to reduce weight, right? Like there is plenty of people want to reduce weight, and if it goes into the science of how insulin works, how your cells absorb insulin, how your body develops insulin resistance because you are always having blood sugar, it's very difficult for people to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Right. Rather than going through that in-depth understanding, because once they go through an in-depth understanding, they don't need to remember anything. Like once you have an understanding about something, you won't remember. You don't need to remember. It's like if you have played Age of Empires, you have like gone to a new territory on the map lights up, and then the map like never goes dark again. So it's like you have expanded your mind and your understanding on a particular level, then that never shrinks, right? That takes effort, that takes willpower, just like fitness. Like, you can't just do like small exercises like that you see on social media, like, sit in this position, this, that. You really have to like push it. And that's difficult to get around to. And that's true transformation. And trying to get that true transformation to people is the biggest challenge in the content industry today.
But that's how human beings are. It's not the challenge of content. I think it's challenge of everyone. It's just that's how we've been born and brought up, right? We value things which give us dopamine.
Yes.
So I think it's job of a content creator to make sure that you need to mix education and entertainment, or maybe education with something which is giving that dopamine release when people are consuming it. Because it's just how human beings like this is how the body has been done, right? Whether you are a studious person, let's say you're a bookworm, there are people who study and then they get in a loop of just studying.
Yes.
They go from one degree to another, to another, to another, to another, another, because reading that one book gives them sense of achievement. Everybody knows that reading is a way to enlightenment. Reading is a way how you accumulate wealth. Reading is all the way. But only reading is gonna take you nowhere.
Yes.
So at the end of the day, the content's always gonna be like that. It's the job of a creator to actually help release that dopamine with action also,
Yes.
or else you won't be able to.
Yes. So very interesting point where I would like to bring in the concept of delayed gratification, right?
Okay.
So if you have heard about the Stanford experiment where kids were there and you give one marshmallow to a kid and tell him that you can wait for 10 minutes and get 2 marshmallows, or you can eat the marshmallow immediately and then that's done. Like you won't get the second marshmallow. They tracked that people who waited for the second marshmallow over a period of 30-40 years became very successful in life because they had that patience and they had that readiness to have a delayed gratification. So just for an example, let's take my own training program. In that there is a 2-hour module on Facebook ads. It teaches you how to set up your own Facebook ad. And we know that if we just give a 2-hour module, not everybody who came into the training program is going to finish watching it, and not just finish watching it, but actually set up a Facebook ad themselves so that they don't forget about it. So we provide a cashback. So we hack into that behavior, and that cashback is the dopamine. Because if they finish it off, then there is an instant reward, and then there is a long-term reward as well. So imagine that I will give you 1,000 rupees every day you show up to the gym, but the 1-year subscription is 3,65,000. But every day you come to the gym, I will give you like 1,000 rupee cashback. So now I am hacking your behavior to give you that instant dopamine, but I am getting you to do something which will have a delayed gratification, which you might not have the motivation for because it's very delayed. So that way you are forcing people. So until the last moment, like the deadline, people are like not doing it. And in the last 6 hours, it's like the 11th hour, like they go sit, they watch the entire video, they watch it 2 times, 3 times if they want. And then they actually implement it, because if they don't do it, they will lose the cashback. So this is similar to cred. So cred motivates you to pay your bills on time, and it's not much, right? Like our life is not going to change with 20-30 rupees per month, right? Nowadays, that's what you get in cred. So, but even if it is 5 rupees, there is a positive behavior change and you get it done. So that is how you hack this whole dopamine effect and still try to get people to consume in-depth content.
So with your experience in digital marketing, okay, you have been experimenting a lot of stuff, how to make more and more people click, how to make more and more people buy this one particular product, reach more people, right? Is there some common trait which you have observed that this is how humans are, or this is how tier 1 people are, or tier 2 people are, or kids are? Is there like something which you have observed which is fascinating?
So the conversion ratios will have a trend with tier 1, tier 2, tier 3 cities, the age group and everything. But what is most fascinating that I have observed is something called the law of large numbers.
Okay.
And what it says is that with large numbers will start giving you a sense of predictability. So if I roll a dice, what is the chance that it will show a 1/6, or a 5 or a 6? It is just 1/6. But how do you try to predict what it will give you? You cannot predict with one dice roll. But let's say I give you an option to roll the dice 600 times. You can for sure say that it will be around 90% to 110%, or 95% to 105%. That approximately 95% I will get, like at least 95% I will get 1. Another 95% I will get 2. So this is the law of large numbers. So when large numbers are coming into play, a very random event can start giving you predictability. Okay. So let's say murder rates in New York. Like murder is such a random thing. Like there are different types, somebody is angry with someone, like somebody ends up murdering someone. But New York may, over a period of 10 years, the annual death rate due to homicide was around 400 to 600. So on the 11th year, you can tell that, okay, at least there will be 300 murders with surety, because it's just the law of large numbers, right? So that way, when you try to build a digital marketing funnel, you end up knowing that, okay, if you have 10 visitors on the site, sometimes 5 might opt in, sometimes 2 might opt in, sometimes 8 might opt in. But if you have, like, let's say 10,000 visitors and you got 2,000 people to opt in, or 3,000 people to opt in, you can say that the conversion ratio is 30%.
Hmm.
And then you know that, okay, if I get 10,000 more clicks to the web page, then I will have at least 30% of them convert into leads. And from the leads, maybe another 5% will convert into customers. Those 5% may another 1% might convert into upsell customers. So this is the total profit I will make. So it helps you build a predictability engine. And there is this very interesting story about Target doing this law of large numbers and predictive analytics. That's what the field is called.
Yeah.
And Target ended up tracking purchase behavior, and they predict like what category people fall in, and then they go ahead and send them more coupons and offers to their address to get them to bring them back to Target and purchase more. So they started noticing that people who are about to give birth to a kid, they are always buying a certain set of products, like let's say, cocoa butter cream, for all those things. So one lady was shopping, and her dad did not know that she is about to give birth to a baby, and she started getting coupons in the mails for more such products, and her dad ended up knowing that, okay, this is what is going on. And Target got sued for it and everything. So that is the power of predictive analytics. You can actually predict things when the scale is large, and that's what we do with digital marketing.
So even like us, let's say somebody who's starting up, who is doing something, who wants to build products and start digital marketing, they need to go with large numbers in order to build a predictive analysis, and they need to understand.
They need to understand the stages of the funnel very well. They need to look at what is the cost per click I am paying, what is the revenue per click, what is the revenue per visitor. If you get the math right now, then scaling is just a matter of adding zeros.
Do you think all of these things will be relevant now in future as well, or all of this once the AI fits in? Do you think all of this person who's doing all of this is going to be relevant as well?
See, I believe that content, communication, and things like that can always only be done by humans, like new ideas, sharing new ideas. AI cannot replace that. But AI has actually started having a lot of applications in digital marketing. Like for example, earlier we used to manually optimize the Google ad campaigns. We would increase the CPC, we would look at what rank it has, and then we will try to reduce the CPC. We will see how it affects the conversion ratio on the landing page and everything. But now you can put a daily budget, and you can say that
it'll automatically
give me leads at 20 rupees per lead. It'll automatically adjust the CPC for you. It'll try increasing. Then if the conversion becomes less, then it will try reducing. If it reduces too less, then the quality might reduce, the leads might not convert. So that kind of AI definitely has come. But it's like you can have a self-driving car, which is AI, to take you from one place to another. But where to go is something you have to decide.
But also, this is an interesting take, right? Like this is a very interesting point that humans will drive the ideas. How can somebody come up with new ideas? Like, how can somebody get better with creativity, better with coming up new ideas? Because digital marketing is all about this, right? You have to come up with new ideas every day so that people click in a better way, and they reach out, they share it with other people organically.
Yes.
Right? It's kind of same as content. It's the same thing.
Yes.
So how can you make sure that people come up with better ideas and they become more creative? Is there a way to it? Is there to understand? Is there a field of study which people can come up with? Because it cannot be completely random.
It's definitely not random, but at the same time, it's very far away from fiction. When it comes to fiction, storytelling, poetry, these areas of creativity, including painting, are completely different. The kind of creativity that we are talking about when it comes to digital marketing is very much scientific. In the sense, if I have to come up with an ad copy, there are two ways to come up with an ad copy. One is that you are trying to join the conversation the prospect already has in their mind, and then you are like pulling them in, or you are trying to distract them with something flashy, like something shocking, or that gets attention, but it also loses attention very fast. So if somebody is having a question like, hey, how do I become a digital marketing freelancer? That is the question that I'm going to answer in the ad copy. Okay. And if you are joining the conversation that the prospect already has in their mind, then it's very easy to get their attention. Finding out what they have in their mind, there are a lot of creative ways to do it. Like you can talk to them, you can interact with them, you can run like a survey or a form, you can look at their online behavior, what are the keywords that they are clicking on. If you are sending out an email, you can do a split test, you can see what words actually match better. and what like rings a bell. So basically what we do is that with our sales pages and copywriting pages, we pick out words from interviewing customers and we basically use the same words on the landing page so that they feel the connect.
Oh. So
Yeah.
can we do that with the content as well?
Yeah, we can do that with the content. Like, that's
like
why.
people, whatever they're
Yes.
commenting,
Yes.
we can pick up words from that, use those words in my content so that they feel more connected.
Yes, definitely. Because as content creators, we keep creating content. Sometimes we start losing touch with how the audience is feeling about it. And that is where having real interactions with your audience is very important. Because let's say you are talking about something and you are talking to a real person. If that real person is not so interested, they will just walk away. It will actually make you feel very bad.
Yeah.
Right? But it might be happening with your online content like so much, but you might not be knowing about it. Right? So you need to like kind of like, ring that bell in their head by talking about the right things. Like for example, the best example of it is Amul, right? Amul is creative,
Yeah.
but it's also going with the current trends. And there is a scientific way to choose like what should we draw about, right? What should we create an ad about, because it's very, very, something recent happened and they have a creative angle out
When
of
you
it.
when you say scientific way, what do you exactly mean by this? Like, is there like based on psychology or based on certain aspects or certain studies, or like what is?
I mean,
Are there like rules to play by to become a better digital marketer?
basically numbers driven, right? For
Okay.
example, when I read 4-Hour Work Week by Tim Ferriss, he talked about like trying to come up with a very creative book cover which will perform very well. So how do you come up with a very creative book cover? Like creativity, it could look funky, it could try to get your attention, but what you estimate will get attention and what actually gets attention out there will be two different things.
Yeah.
So what Tim did was that he ran Facebook ads with 4 different book covers and he saw which got like higher CTR. And then he took that and he actually made it into the book cover of his real book. So there is a scientific way to it. You look at the data and you look at what people are responding to, and from there you take it deeper. I think Cambridge Analytica did it and got into soup. So this is obviously like a superpower. You need to use it very carefully.
I'm launching my book soon, so I'm gonna use the same
thing. And you can like experiment with titles as well, right? Like rather than trying to run a poll with your audience on YouTube, like just put and ask people to vote. Instead of that, you can actually see people's behavior. Like run an ad with 4 different titles. If you run an ad with 4 different titles and 4 different book cars, you have like 16 different variations, right? I guess. So you could actually, or it's like a little bit less than 16. But you could get that data and use that data and basically build on top of it. So that's how I have built my business. So the first course that I launched was Google Ads course. Before launching that course, I had a community.
Or in the real?
It was Digital Deepak at that time. So Digital Deepak has become part of LearnToday now. And at that time, it was just Digital Deepak, and we had a group on Facebook. We just had 2,000 members. Today, we have 200,000 members in that group. And
on Facebook itself?
On Facebook itself. And we just ran a poll, like I'm planning to launch a paid premium course. And what would you like to like learn about the most? Facebook ads, Google ads, SEO, blogging. People voted for Google ads the most. So I created a course on that. And I sold the course even before the course was created.
Then you told them, okay, the timeline's going to be 4 weeks later or 10 weeks later. Oh.
And I was like, if enough pre-orders don't come, then I will cancel the project and refund everyone. If actually people buy, so I was expecting 50 sales, but I got like 250 sales. Then there was no other way I had to like do it.
So data driven.
Yeah, very data driven.
So can people learn about this? Is there any book for it, or is there any podcast for it?
No, we don't need to get into deep data science to like understand the base. It's like as simple as running a poll or basically looking at your click data and conversion data. That's more than enough.
That's it.
Yeah, but you
actually,
have to
like this conversation. I want to take this forward to how to become a better content creator, because I think it's going to be relevant for me and for everybody who's listening to me, because a lot of people in my group, they want to become the better speakers, better content creators, want to have better online presence. Those are the people I've built my community with. So one is the data driven approach. You need to look at the things which are really performing well and double down and triple down on that one particular thing. But
so like anyone who is like an Instagrammer, could have a freelancer working for him who can just basically put it on an Excel sheet and put out all the content that he has created in a month. So how many likes it got, how many comments it got, and then basically analyze why this got higher reach, or maybe this performs well, so I will do more of it. So it's a continuous process of optimizing to basically make it land with the audience in a very good way. And I think that's what stand-up comedians do, right? Stand-up comedians write a lot of jokes and they try it with smaller audiences. Some jokes don't land and they start eliminating them. Some jokes land and they start repeating more of those jokes. And eventually when they go for their big event, it's all a collection of the jokes that worked with smaller audiences. So that's exactly what you do. Like when I create a training video module, before creating the training video module, I actually do a live presentation to a small audience of 100 200 people. And I ask them is there anything else to add? Do you have any questions? And in that, the content takes a structure. And then I use that structure to create the final video. So there has to be a product market fit for every piece of content that you create, because the content is the product.
Yeah.
They talk about product market fit for products, but each and every piece of content is a product that has to be a fit.
That makes sense. But what about the product market fit, that the content is product and once people consume it, there's no revenue, there's no monetization. What after that?
That's why
let's say people don't want to make courses. What can an average content creator can do?
So that might be harsh to say that, but if people don't figure out a way to make revenue with their content, their attention, the attention of the people will shift from them to the people who can figure out how to make revenue with their content, right? So that's the only thing that is going to happen, because when you look at the entire competition out there among creators, the creator who will end up getting the maximum reach is the creator who has figured out how to make the most revenue out of, let's say, 1 man minute of attention. Because now he has more leverage and he can apply that leverage to create more content if he wants. And that is why content marketing is so popular right now. And this is also something I have felt about news publications, right? So you have TV, radio, newspapers and magazines. And these were separate businesses of their own because it was such a complex thing to run a business, which is like a newspaper, you need distribution, magazine, you need printing, for radio, you need frequencies, for TV, you need satellites. So publications thrived because there was this small channel of connection with the outside world, and advertisers who are like merchants, product creators, they had no other option but to go through these publications to reach the audience.
Yeah.
So there was a premium there. But now the floodgates have been opened. Anyone can become a content creator. So you cannot really make revenue from advertising anymore. And we are seeing that happening, right? I won't name the publications, but we know the usual suspects.
Yeah.
All the publications in India who are very reputed publications, sometimes more than 100 years old. If you look at their site, it's completely filled with ads. And they are trying to make revenue out of the ads to support the journalism. And now many people have also tried getting people to subscribe for their journalism.
Yeah.
And I don't think that has gone very well. And people won't subscribe to 10 different publications at the same time. People are looking for free content. So that way, since it has become difficult to monetize the attention, one of the best ways to monetize the attention right now is to sell your own product or service. Like for example, let's say Amazon, such a big e-commerce store, but they own a lot of content properties. Like for example, dpreview.com. dpreview.com is a digital photography review website. And from there, they link back to Amazon to purchase the digital cameras. So that is the way they monetize the content. So after content, if there is no product to sell, then you are trying to make revenue from advertising. It's like you are getting the attention, but then you are trying to pass on the attention to someone else. And how much the prospect trusts you, he might not trust them directly. So the ads are not going to perform well. So that way, if the product creator itself is getting the attention via content, then that is going to be an easier conversion. Like for example, look at ClearTax. ClearTax has so many page views, I think more than 3 million page views a month. It is almost 2x to 3x of many startup publications in India.
Yeah.
And how do startup publications try to make money? Through ads. How does ClearTax make money? because they get customers directly for their software.
Hmm.
So they can afford to invest so much in content creation. So now they are getting a bigger pie of the attention
Yeah.
that is out there.
No, it makes sense. How can now? What are the relevant questions a content creator can ask themselves in order to build a product? Is the question, because a lot of people, there are a lot of content creators, they can't build courses to teach something what they're doing.
Yes.
Right? Some people want to, some
Yeah,
people don't want
yeah.
to. What are the relevant questions a content creator needs to ask themselves in order to build products?
See, I would rather look at it as content being a means to an end,
Okay.
rather than content creation just for the sake of content creation itself. Because content is what attracts attention. But at the same time, what after that is something that you have to start with. Like, for
Okay.
example, there are push-up boards in Amazon. They sell for around 400 to 500 rupees. One of my friends started a D2C e-commerce store, and he's selling the same push-up board, almost the same quality and everything, but he is able to sell it for 1200 rupees. But what he has done is that he is also bundling a course along with it on how to build your upper body strength. So when it comes to digital products, especially courses or SaaS products, it doesn't take any money to replicate it, right? So I can create a course for 5,000 rupees and I can give an affiliate commission of 100% on the 5,000 rupee course, because it doesn't cost me money apart from some server costs to actually spread it. So that way, when content creators approach it with an end in mind, then there is a way for you to make sure that the content thrives, right? If you don't get paid for the time that you invest in creating content, how will you create more content?
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yes.
So now next time we're doing podcast, we're gonna sell mics along
Yes.
with the podcast
Yeah, why
and the
not?
podcast course with it.
Yeah, podcasting course. It's such a in-demand course, right? So you could convert all this attention into money by selling a podcasting course. It will give you more revenue, and then you can put that revenue into more content creation, maybe more team members, maybe more graphics. Maybe you can boost some of your videos. If you post it on YouTube, I'm pretty sure that you are not running YouTube ads. But what if you have the revenue to run YouTube ads and get a wider reach? Then you are getting more of that attention,
But
right?
isn't it that if you pay to get reach, your organic reach dies?
Not necessarily, because you don't pay to get reach for advertising your products directly. You pay to get more reach for your content itself. And if people engage in that content, organic reach will actually go up. Right?
didn't
Let's
get
say
it.
if there is a YouTube video and it's a 10-minute YouTube video and my channel is not that famous and there is no user signals for YouTube to take those signals and start boosting it.
Yeah.
So if I run ads for it and let's say if it gets like 50,000 views, now YouTube has data to work on. Like YouTube will see that, okay, engagement is high. The amount of people going to like the end of the video is high. So they will start recommending it more. The algorithm will start recommending it more. So having content and then having a paid marketing budget behind it, it's basically like putting fire to cotton. Like, it kind of gives you that more reach. And I used to think like this, like for example, if you are a real estate person and you want to become a real estate mogul,
Okay.
what you would do, you would try to acquire more and more properties over time. It's not like you build a building, make profit out of it, take that money and put it into crypto or stocks or whatever. You would obviously try to like buy more land, build more projects, and the amount of properties that you have will expand and expand.
Yep.
And you will become a very rich person because real estate is limited, just like Bitcoin. You have only so much beachfront properties. You have only so much land. That's always the limited quantity that was there. So I used to think that if I want to own more of the internet, then I need to create more content. But creating more content is unlimited. It's like the metaverse, right? There is unlimited amount of pages that can be published on your blog. Like my blog can have like 1 million extra pages. That doesn't necessarily own more of the internet because there are so many pages on the internet. What is really limited when it comes to internet is the attention. And you have maybe 3 hours of attention per person on average that they will look at screens and browse through the internet. Can you own more of that? That is the way you have to approach content creation, because you just have limited attention.
Yeah.
How do you get more of that attention for yourself rather than the attention leaking to somewhere else?
Yeah.
When you look at it that way, then it takes on a whole different meaning on what kind of content you create, how do you engage them. And for me, at least, the idea is to always take away people from social media sites to my own platform, to my own app, to my own website, to my own email list. So that way they are in my ecosystem.
Do you think email is relevant today?
Yeah, it's very relevant today. Yes.
It is?
Yes.
Like, should content creators like me build email lists?
Depends on what type of content you create, but definitely yes.
Okay, let's say the kind of content I make. Do you think I should create an email list?
If you don't own your email list and you don't own a direct connection to your audience, you are on a platform. The platform gives you reach, and it's up to that platform to limit your reach. So if you want the users to be your users, they are not just going to be following you on a social media platform. You need to have their contact details, which is to start with the email ID. Because the Instagram's users sign up with a phone number and an email ID, right?
The Instagram have the data, I don't.
They own the audience. You don't own the audience. So how do you own the audience? So today, the internet economy gives us an opportunity to even compete with Facebook or Instagram directly by creating your own app and your own platform. So which means that you need to own your users.
So if I own my audience, if I have the people who are following me on a regular basis, then I can actually like make them go from my just being a normal follower in Instagram to someone who's like who is now enrolled on my app. Right? This is what you're trying to say. Now there's a next question built up. Okay. Now the next question is, how do you get more attention?
So one way to get more attention is to create more content, and create content in such a way that it is trending. And if you create some content that is trending right now, people will pay you attention. But the problem with that is that, let's say 9gag gets a lot of attention.
Yeah, trending.
You cannot convert that attention into money because it is purely entertainment. News to some extent is also entertainment.
Yeah.
Right. So you can come up with something that is latest, which is a news. But the problem is that news is something that gets stale very fast.
Yeah.
Right. It's like bread. What you need to do is that you need to create content that ages like wine. Like, for example, even today we have Shakespeare ka content, right? So it's like perennial content, perennial seller. It keeps selling through decades. So the way I am looking at content creation and getting attention is that create content that has a very good value over the long term, that the content is relevant even after 10 years that they go through. But at the same time, instead of trying to get people's attention on social media, get them onto your platform. So for example, I give a free digital marketing course. And instead of creating a lot of digital marketing videos and putting it out there, instead of creating 200 pieces of content, I just have 25 videos. So for these 25 videos, the content is in sequence.
Okay.
And you need to get people hooked onto the sequence, and then you can get the people's attention throughout the entire sequence. Like, for example, Sacred Games doesn't need to advertise each and every one of their episodes. They just need to get you to watch one episode, and then they are hooked.
Automatically they look.
Yes. So create content in sequence and structure in such a way that people can get hooked onto it, and then you got more of their attention. So if you have 10 videos in a series and each video is 15 minutes long, you just need to get people to watch the first 15-minute video. And
because
then
if they watch that, they are hooked to it.
And they are hooked to it, and then they will go all the way to the end. But at the same time, since now you are creating less content, how do you get attention to the first piece of content?
Yeah.
Is that you run ads for it.
And
you can afford to get that attention by basically interrupting while other people are delivering the content. You can interrupt with a YouTube pre-roll ad. Why? Because you can afford to.
And how can you afford to? By building your own product and services.
Yeah. And towards the end of that funnel, you get them to pay and you put that back into ads. So as I said, if you figure out how to make money from the attention that people give you, then the whole world is your content marketing team. You don't need to create content.
Insane. But is that something that you're teaching in LearnToday?
Yeah. In my digital marketing course and in my training program, that's what I teach.
What is LearnToday about though?
Okay. So LearnToday is an edtech platform, and the tagline for LearnToday is get paid to learn.
Get paid to learn.
Learn. Yes.
Okay.
So we literally pay people to learn. And the flagship training program that we have right now, so we just have one course. We have trained more than 10,000 students in this course.
It's a digital marketing.
It's a digital marketing training program. It's a 3-month program with 12 main weeks and 4 bonus weeks. So every week people have to go through the training program. They have to do an assignment. They have to submit the assignment. And if they submit the assignment, they get a cashback. The cashback is there to motivate people to learn.
Okay.
So this I started even before LearnToday was born. as a minimum viable product. And at that time, things were all over the place. We tried to do manual payments. There used to be payment failures and everything. But now we have created an automated system where you come in, you have a learning management system, you watch the video, you do the assignment, and then you go ahead and submit the assignment. The assignment gets approved and the money comes to your bank account. So it's a completely smooth process.
All automated.
So, yes. So that is what LearnToday is about as of now. And we are a bootstrapped company and we like to grow slowly. And that way, we instead of trying to have more products, we just optimized one single product as much as possible and try to get more students enrolled in the same product. And in the long term, we do have an ecosystem coming up. So there is something called hiretoday.com that we have acquired, and whoever goes through LearnToday course will get an opportunity to list their profile on HireToday, which will be like a candidate search engine. And then we are going to come up with a job application portal called Apply Today, and basically get people to apply jobs. And let's say 500 people apply for an SEO job. We will give them an exam, and let's say only 5 people pass it. So the 495 people, we will recommend them an SEO course from our platform because you need to create the itch before you sell the lotion.
Yeah.
So you need to know what you don't know, and that will happen only through an exam.
So it's like it's a platform where you tell people, oh, you don't know what to do.
Yes.
Learn how to stand out.
Yes.
Once they learn how to stand out through digital marketing skills, you tell them, oh, this is the place where you apply. This is the place where you get hired. This is the place.
Yes.
Everything is your own. And if you don't get hired, you have this another process doing the same thing for
upskill yourself. Upskill yourself. And actually, I have a lot more things in the ecosystem. I have things like toystoday.com, like eventually long term, if we try to, go into the school and children's category. So we have a bunch of, long term dreams. But as of now, LearnToday is a platform for learning digital marketing, at least as of now. Maybe in the future, it becomes a platform for learning multiple things. But people learn digital marketing, and in digital marketing, they learn traffic generation, how to build trust with your audience, and how to do sales. And these topics will never go out of fashion. So
yeah, how to do sales.
Yes. Everybody wants to learn to sell better. Everybody wants to learn how to market better. Everybody wants to generate more traffic. So yeah, that's what LearnToday is about.
On that note, I feel I'm a terrible salesman. Like I just have this feeling that I'm very, very bad with sales. That's why I over deliver with content. So my most of the strategy is inbound rather than outbound. Like I know for a fact that I can't go to someone, look them into eye and try to close the thing.
Yes.
I am a person who will be like, okay, here are 10 things with which I can help you with. These are the things, whether you like it or no. If you like it, great, come work with me, or else I move on to the next thing. I keep adding to that funnel more. So that there's a content overload, and out of 10 things which I'm offering, at least one they'll like. If not, I'll build 10 more. I'll build 10 more. So out of 100, something will like. So that's my approach towards sales.
So when it comes to sales, there is a very interesting thing that I noticed, that most of the sales, at least in India, is very push based. So salespeople try to go ahead and push for sales, and they try to basically fit the product into the customer's requirement when the customer's requirement is not very clear, or when there is not a very clear need for that sale. So let's say I come to you and say that, okay, I'm asking you a lot of questions. I'm selling you my digital marketing agency services, and I'm asking you how much revenue you are making right now. Let's say you say I make X amount of revenue. Then I ask you, how would you like to make 10x revenue from here? And then I get you to imagine your desired state, that where you want to go. And pretty much every product in the world is taking people from the current state to their desired state. So even before you present the product, because the product is basically a bridge from your current state to their desired state, you need to reinforce the current state and even reinforce the pain of being in the current state. You need to reinforce the desired state. Tell them that it is possible to go to the desired state because others have done it. And then your product sells naturally because the product becomes the bridge to go from here to there. So it's just like a elastic that you pull. You create the tension first, and then to release the tension, they have to buy the product.
Oh, that's a brilliant model. Like you don't have to sell the product, you have to sell the desired state. Because then product will be an obvious choice for them to reach the desired state.
Yes. The product becomes the solution and it sells automatically. So this is what I call natural sales. And I'm trying to even trademark the term called natural sales. I acquired naturalsales.com.
Dude, that's
So
the
it's
beauty of
good
being
methodology.
from the
Yeah.
digital marketing background.
Mm.
Those were great insights. Thank you so
Yes.
much for being here.
Thanks
Thank
a
you so
lot.
much for doing. I think we covered a lot of stuff about how to become a better content creator, why to own an email list, how to start doing an email list, why people have less attention in today's world, what can we do in order to grab their attention, how can we
Yes.
sell them better,
Yes.
and we also spoke about your platform.
Yes.
What are you trying to do with Learn Today, and how you get them in a funnel and in a loop where they self-realize the need of learning. When they learn, they have a platform to apply and go and start making money.
Yes.
If they can't, they need to upskill themselves in order to make
They come
against
back.
that.
Yes. Yes.
Do the same thing
Yes.
again.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thanks a lot,
Thanks
Deepak.
a lot.
Thanks.
It was pleasure being in this podcast.
Same here. Thank you so much for
Fantastic.
doing this.
Chalo.